everyone, David Aragona and Mike Beer here taking a look at the DRF Sunday race of the day. It is race 9 at Gulfstream Park, the any limit stakes. This one for the 3-year-old fillies going the 6 furlong distance on the dirt. With this being the DRF race of the day, you do know you can access free past performances for this race. Just go to the race of the day page on DRF.com or click the link in this video. You can get free classic, formulator, Timeform US past performances of this race, the handicap along with Mike and I. And Mike, we've got 7 runners that are entered for this race. As you can see, 3 from the Saffie Joseph barn. I think we're all wondering that if Saffie Joseph is going to actually run all 3 of these horses, since he tends to have a lot of options to who to run in these stakes races on the dirt at Gulfstream Park. They don't always all participate, but a couple of them do have plenty of early speed. Rojo Rita and Our Morning Brew, and even Magnolia Prime on the outside has plenty of early speed that she showed in her debut. So feels like this could be a pretty competitive pace scenario towards the front end.
I thought so too. We'll see. This pace seems like it's supposed to be pretty fast. We'll see which one of these fillies is faster. I kind of have an opinion on that. I wonder if you agree. And then we'll just see, how good some of these horses are, because, more than half the field are stepping up right off of maiden wins into this race.
Yeah, they've all got something to prove in this race, and we'll see if they can handle a potentially frenzied pace scenario on the front end. And speaking of that, let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. And kind of interesting to see that we talk about maybe 4 different speeds in this race, but Timeform US has the number 7 Magnolia Prime on a clear early lead. And I kind of get it, Mike, because she set a pretty fast pace on debut. And the one thing I took away from that race is she was really fast away from the starting gate.
Yeah, she did show plenty of speed in her career debut. And I don't, obviously, there's a real chance that she's just faster than these horses early. When I looked at the race, David, and then went through all of the starts from these horses, I just think the one's faster than she is. And I think Rojo Rita's making the lead in this race.
She does draw the rail, and typically they're under the gun from that post position. And let's start the conversation with Rojo Rita as we go through this field from the rail out. Mike, she could not have been much more impressive on debut when she won in November at Gulfstream Park, drawing off to win by over 16 lengths with an 83 Beyer, which obviously makes her very competitive against this field. Not sure that she was beating so much that day, but who cares when she beats them by a city block. She came back as the favorite in the Forward Gal last time, and kind of a strange trip for her. She looked a little green early. I'll let you talk about that, and then just faded at the end. The 6 furlongs of this race should work better for her.
Yeah, 6 furlongs should work better for her. This is huge class relief, even though she's still in stakes race. That was a way better field. I don't know what was going on early in that race last time, but she just was going for it. I don't know if she was shied from something bothered her to her outside, but she veered in very badly, checked, and then still outran those horses to the early lead. Obviously paid the price, got really tired at the end of that race. To me, David, she's been really green in both of her starts. If I'm surprised by anything, it's the fact that maybe there's not blinkers going on this horse already. But, we'll see. I think she's really fast. I think she is going to make the lead in this race. And I just think she lands in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. She just looked really green coming out of the chute, and sometimes horses see that open space and they want to veer towards it. It seems like that's what happened with her. That shouldn't be a problem going the 6 furlong distance here. I mean, I viewed it like she might have to work really hard from the rail, but if you're right and she's just naturally faster than these horses, then she could be leading them on a merry chase. Number 2 is Love You Morgan, another one of these Saffie Joseph runners in this race, and kind of a strange spot for her, Mike, because she chased home Magnolia Prime on debut. It looked like she just couldn't keep up that day. They stretched out to the 2-turn mile and the 16th last time, and she seemed much more at home going the longer 2-turn distance. And now coming back to 6 furlongs just feels like a weird fit for her.
I agree 100%. I mean, my takeaway from her career debut is that she's just not a sprinter. And, you sort of expected her to get better with more distance in her second start. It's exactly what happened, even though it wasn't a particularly fast race. And now they're going to drop her all the way back to 6 furlongs. Again, it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
The number 3, Unchained Elaine, obviously lacks the upside of some others in this race, making the 10th start of her career, but at least she's got some positive experience against stakes company. I thought she actually ran pretty well in that cash run 2-back, going a mile, which is probably a little far for her. She got squeezed at the start that day, had to make a middle move on the turn, and really tried to go after 5G, who, as it turns out, is just a way better dirt horse than she is, and a way better horse on the dirt than it looked like she was on the turf early in her career. And then last time in the Forward Gal, Mike, again, I didn't love the trip because she was one of the horses that was affected by the veering in Rojo Rita on the backstretch. And then she had to wait in traffic coming to the top of the stretch and had to alter inside. I don't know how much better she can do, but I feel like if she gets a clean trip, we might see some minor improvement.
Yeah, that my one concern was I'm not sure that she has it in her to move forward enough if some of the other horses in here actually show up and run their best race. I do think there's a pretty good trip coming for her this time. I agree with you wholeheartedly about the Forward Gal last time. Ultimately she was in contention late, but she just had a lot to overcome in the early stages of that race.
The number 4, Hold Your Breath, is one of a couple of horses coming off a debut victory, trying Stakes Company for the first time. And she's coming off a little bit of a layoff, having debuted at the end of November for trainer John Service at Parks. We'll take a look at the stretch run of that race. And she drew the rail this day, Mike, had to be used to make the front end, controlled this race every step of the way. And as you can see, just puts these rivals away through the final eighth of a mile here to win pretty impressively and quite professionally in the end. Only got a 66 buyer for this performance, but again, that was as a 2-year-old. She's got a right to step forward with routine improvement. I think it's interesting that John Service sent her down to Florida to obviously prepare for a stakes event. She appears to be training well coming into this race, and I'll let you talk over this DRF formulator fact that I found for John Service. He does very well with this move.
Yeah, he really does. Listen, I liked everything about her career debut. I really have no knocks on this horse. I think she's a major contender in this race, especially with the sort of confident placing here from Service. We'll see how she deals with, a faster pace. It feels like this pace has to be faster than she dealt with in her career debut. But man, if she can handle that and work out the right trip in her, I think she's dangerous.
Completing the trio of Safi Joseph trained runners in this race is the number 5, Our Morning Brew, a horse that showed a lot of precocity last summer at Gulfstream Park, winning the first 2 starts of her career, including a stakes event, but just seemed like she didn't go on after that, Mike. She had trouble dealing with a quick pace in the Susan's Girl, and then clearly wanted no part of going 2 turns in the My Dear Girl last time. They're getting back to basics here and sprinting her in this race. She's had a series of workouts on the synthetic surface at Gulfstream Park. I'm not really sure what to make of that. But she just has to show that she's taken that step forward from 2 to 3.
Yeah, agreed. She's hard to like off of the 2 most recent starts there. So we'll just see if she can bounce back a little bit here. I mean, if she's going to be some kind of big price in here, I get, just sort of looking at her and judging her off of her first 2 starts where they went, shorter distances with her. I mean, she earned a 74 buyer in her second career start as a September 2-year-old. I mean, if she can build on that, she could certainly be competitive in here.
The number 6, Millie Mill, feels like one of the outsiders in this race at a bigger price. She's coming off a maiden victory last time against Maiden Claiming Company at the $50,000 level. She was a big favorite that day, getting hammered down to even money, and she finally delivered after having taken a lot of money in her first couple of dirt starts in New York and disappointing in those races. Just not sure that she really classes up with these on the dirt, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't think that she did either. I mean, I guess if you wanted to try to dress her up, you could say the win last time, even though it came with class relief. It's the only time that she's run over a faster track so far in her career. They seemed like they had high hopes for her early on. So maybe she just wanted faster all along.
And then rounding out the field is the number 7, Magnolia Prime, that other horse that's coming off a debut victory. The bettors didn't really know that day. They let her go at over 8-1, but she certainly ran a professional race for a first-time starter. We'll take a look at the stretch run, but as I said earlier, she busted out of the gate, showed a lot of speed on the back stretch, kind of strung this field out around the far turn, and you could see she's getting a little tired in the final eighth of a mile, but she has just enough left in the tank to hold on late. Got a very respectable 81 buyer for this performance, and Mike, now she's drawn outside, which might give her a slight advantage.
Yeah, the post position is a good one for her for sure. I have no knocks on her debut either, David. She showed good speed. She was tired at the end of that race for sure, but she probably had a right to be tired because she did go a legitimate pace on the front end.
Let's throw up our picks for this Sunday race of the day. And Mike, both of our top picks could have difficult trips coming to them because there is plenty of speed in here. And they both feel like horses that have only shown up to this point that they need the lead to be successful. Rojo Rita, if she can get back to her debut, she might be the one to beat.
Yeah, we'll see if she can be a little bit more professional here too. She's got to get her act together a little bit. The more I looked at the race, David, the more I just thought she's fastest early in here. This is big time class relief for her. I think she's going to make the front in this race.
And I put the number 4, Hold Your Breath, on top. I was just impressed with her debut when it parked. Obviously facing tougher this time and might have to negotiate a slightly different running style, but does feel like a horse with upside for trainer John Service. So 4-3-7-1 for me and 1-4-7-3 for Mike in the Sunday race of the day, the Any Limited Gulfstream. Good luck if you're playing the races this weekend.